Well, the cat wanted me to read you this. Well, we have the white sky, ice sheets in the sky. Look at that one there. And you can tell by the fineness of this fog, which I'm starting to think it is fog. That's not all aluminum dust as some people might think. If it is, it's nano. It's very, very small. Or a small percentage of it is, because I think they are catalyzing the moisture in the air before rain clouds can form. And that's why we are getting such a high fog. And San Francisco is mentioned as one of the most unique spots where fog forms and cools the city. And I think that's pretty much what we're dealing with here, is a man-made fog, ice sheets in the sky, basically. So here, the article. I've been saying a lot about the glaciers only getting smaller and not kicking back into another ice age, and here we'll read this. An international study of Arctic sea ice has concluded that the recent record-setting retreat is the worst in thousands of years, a conclusion that challenges skeptics' claims that the meltdown being witnessed in Canada's north is probably just the latest low ebb in a historical cycle of ice loss and regeneration. The new study, involving 18 scientists from 5 countries, and will be published in the journal Quantitary Science Reviews, includes data from 2 Canadian co-authors who interpret historic levels of ice cover from ancient whaling bones found in the polar region. Other evidence marshaled in the bid to reconstruct the ancient Arctic climate conditions include patterns of drifting wood deposits and chemical signatures in the seabed and sediments and ice cores. The current reduction in Arctic sea ice cover started in the late 19th century, consistent with the rapidly warming climate, and became very pronounced over the last 3 decades, the study states. This ice loss appears to be unmatched over at least the last few thousand years, and is unexplainable by any of the known natural variabilities. The study lead author, Ohio State University polar researcher Leonid Polyak, said Thursday that predictable long-term ice cover changes linked to the fluctuations in the Earth's orbit mean we should expect more rather than less sea ice at this time in history. The evidence that we have based on the existing data suggests that the current Arctic warming is probably the strongest since at least the mid-Holocene, that is approximately 5,000 years, Polnak said. The 2 Canadian scientists involved in the study, Geological Survey of Canada researcher Arthur Dyke and McGill University archaeologist James Savelle, provided data about the distribution of whalebone deposits to the help map of the extent of the Arctic ice cover over the past 10,000 years. In 2007, the Arctic Ocean ice cover declined from a winter of maximum of 14 million square kilometers to an end-of-summer minimum of about 4 million square kilometers, the biggest retreat of polar ice seen since satellite measurements began about 35 years ago. Despite strong ice regeneration this past winter, experts say the thickness and the volume of the Arctic ice has continued to decline over the past decade, pointing the way to an ice-free summers in a matter of years. Now, when the Russians planted the flag on the bottom of the Arctic Ocean, that was probably because at one point the Arctic Ocean was solid almost to the bottom, and it's not that deep there, and if that volume is what they're talking about will not be regained, then we are only seeing a decline. And if what I think the sun's long minimum, 14 years plus, just ending, if you can call what's showing up sunspots, is basically acted as like a big huge ember burning in the sky consistently for 13, 14 years. And now, with sunspots coming and increased solar activity, we'll see increased magnetic storms. But if the solar maximum spots don't show up, then this heating will continue, and we'll see further degeneration of our ice and the glaciers, fresh water, and the lifeblood of humans. Now this message from Crow's Dance Chemtrails. Get down! Man, this cat's insane, man. Get down! That's the first cat I've ever seen that's gone into a tree to attack a crow. Holy shit. You thought chemtrails were weird.